cursed by the old gods of Bethany. We are 5 immortals doomed to walk the earth until we complete our 1001 tasks. After centuries of having our memories digged around, we're ready to complete our destiny and die. We are, for now, the Immortals. This is episode 78.
Woo!
Woohoo!
8 is bigger than 7. 7 is smaller than 8.
It is.
There were consecutive numbers.
Integers, yes.
Yeah.
Do you know why,
Yes.
6 is the rate of 7?
Because 7, 8, 9.
No, because it's all 7 rise to the grave and kill its entire family.
That's a weird thing for 7 to do.
We're the Immortals, and we are a podcast. Faithful listeners may have noticed that we weren't here last week, and that was a very cruel thing to do because we ended it on a crazy cliffhanger of us saying we're going to blow some shit up.
Yeah.
To sum up, we have not blown shit up.
It's true.
Yet.
Yet.
Because right when we're about to, blow it all up and just see what happens, Pedro had an idea based entirely off our collective memories of the trailer of The Astronaut Farmer. We're going to build a rocket.
That sounds, yeah.
So we kind of forgot to do a show last week because we just all been building this rocket.
I have an important fact about 78. It is the total number of gifts in the 12 Days of Christmas.
Oh.
What Wikipedia page do you open right now?
The Wikipedia page for 78.
Okay.
I'm sure there are a lot of interesting math facts.
So, Pedro, how about you tell us how the rocket building's been going?
Well, I mean, you guys built tubes,
Yeah.
which is nice, and a place to sit, which is nice. Air tightness might be an issue, but there's a lot of trees. Resin, sap, maybe? That's what I'm sort of thinking. The hard part is this next portion where we somehow find a way to make the explosion controlled. And so that it only goes one way,
That sounds lame.
which is
I call not it.
when we go up.
Keep making some graphs on graph paper.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
So, obviously for all of you who are following the plot, which has been described as really confusing by a number of people, is that we're just going to build a rocket to go find the old gods who are banished to a planet so we can fight Bethany, and we're going to use fuel blowing up our reviews from, the previous times we attempted to do the show.
Yeah.
It's a pretty standard Greek myth.
Yeah, it's very famous.
Yeah.
And then, along the way, we'll all accidentally kill our fathers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're definitely not
And
gonna
have sex
fly
with our
towards the
mothers.
sun, though.
Yeah. I was kind of skipping that part, but yes.
We're flying
Stab
way
out our
from the
eyes.
sun.
What?
There will definitely be
fly
some
away
weird
from the
eye
sun.
stuff.
Well, I mean, I already lost my legs.
True.
So we're all caught up in the mythology. But really what this show is, besides the weird 5 minutes at the beginning and end, is a review show
It is.
where we take those books, those 1001 books, not actual 1001 books. They are 6 books describing the 1001 movies, albums, food, songs, children's books, and TV shows that you must consume before you die. We have to finish them all. Every
So we
week,
can die.
we do a random number. And this week, we are doing number 491. Before we say what things we're reviewing this week, let's say who we are.
That's a good point.
I'm Austin.
I'm Adam.
Oh, I'm Sarah.
I'm Lee.
I'm Pedro.
We're the Immortals. And so this is what we do. And this week, we got quite the lineup of things you may have vaguely heard of. The
I would say that we have a lineup.
we have just one lineup here.
Yes.
Of things that you may have heard of.
Yes. Yes. The movie is A Touch of Zen.
The album is Mask by Bauhaus.
The food is dried abalone.
The song is Alternative Ulster by Stiff Little Fingers.
The children's book is Comet and Moominland by Tove Jansson.
And the TV show is All American Girl. Let's get right into it with A Touch of Zen. A Touch of Zen is the 1971 film directed by King Hu. This is a kung fu film, and it is considered one of the best of this subgenre of
Wuxi?
wuxi?
Wuxia.
Wuxia. Okay.
I looked it up yesterday when I was watching the movie because I was concerned.
Yes, it is a style of kung fu that is kind of best known in America as Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which was a very like mainstream, bringing it to the whole world, which is a lot of kung fu of running up trees.
Boing, boing, boing is what I said most of this movie.
And this is the story of this woman who is hiding from royals, and she is kind of on the run for her life. She has been training, and now kind of we're watching as everything is kind of catching up with her. Is that fair? I mean,
Sure, that's about right.
It's kind of a fascinating film because it is more of an ensemble than you realize, because like the main character you follow for an hour is not in like the last hour as much, and he's still alive. It kind of very naturally weaves around the story of all these people involved. And I found it to be really thrilling. This is one of, I think, the 5 or 6 now that I hadn't seen before doing this review. And it was beautiful and still and mysterious, and it all pays off in cool ways. I really dug this one. Adam, what do you think?
I did too, and you touched on it. But what I really liked about this, I think, was that it started with the main character, who ended up being not really, like, the story was not really about him. But there's something that I really like about stories like that, where it's from the outsider's perspective. Like, we're supposed to empathize with like a complete outsider who has a kind of tertiary role in the main story. I don't know. I really identify with stories like that.
This may shock you, but do you know what that reminded me of watching this?
What?
Doctor Who.
Oh, yes.
Interesting.
Think about it. I mean, this guy who we follow is, if we had to rank them in terms of awesomeness, he's near the end.
He's the least awesome.
He's not great.
He's the most normal, bordering on lame. And basically, as he kind of meets her, she's more of the doctor character, and he's the, lucky civilian who gets to be around someone way cooler, and has to run around a lot and not die. Yeah, I mean, you get to watch, someone encounter someone cooler, and unlike a lot of other lame films, the film lets it, pass the torch. we don't have to follow his arc all the way to the end. It's still emotionally more about her. So that was nice.
Yeah, that's fair.
What do you think, Pedro?
Sorta. I liked most things about this movie, but the movie itself kind of bummed me out. It's too much of a slow burn. It is.
I agree with that.
It takes so long to get going.
Yeah.
And so many scenes were 2-3 times longer than they needed to be. I had a hard time following everybody for whatever reason. Did we even see the eunuch who's the bad guy in all of this? I don't remember. There were 3 bad guys, different colors, and then all of a sudden dead people.
I had a lot. I was fine with the main characters. They didn't confuse me. I thought they were all really well defined. I had a lot of trouble keeping track of the factions and the motivations.
Yeah.
There was some color coding, which was helpful, but not super helpful. But to be fair, I don't really like this genre, so eh.
See, I usually do like the genre, and I could see how this sort of helped. So this was sort of the first of its kind?
It's not the first. It's one of the most beloved.
Okay.
I think I heard an interview on the podcast Film Spotting where they actually had a guest on to kind of say, here are the 5 films of this genre you'd show someone who's interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
And this was if not its number 1, it was its number 2.
Okay.
Of this is a high watermark of it.
It was, I suppose. Maybe. I don't know, it wasn't enough. Or it was too much. One or the other. It was spread too thin, or I don't know.
I kept thinking about length during this movie because, we're in this golden age of TV or whatever we're calling it today. And there are so many, Netflix shows especially, where people say it really gets good around the middle of the season. Mm-hmm. That's 7 hours in. This is a 3-hour movie, which is a long movie, but a really short TV show. So it was funny because with this, the way we happened to watch this, because we kept taking breaks while building a rocket,
Yeah.
It was I actually watched it in two parts. I watched it the first hour and a half, the second hour and a half. It kind of worked really great as a miniseries because almost all the secrets are revealed a little bit past the hour part, and it's kind of strong action till the end.
Yeah, I definitely. It's interesting. I enjoyed the second. I was more engaged by the second half of the movie, but I was sad that I didn't see some of the character interest from the first half of the movie really get borne out in the second half. I felt like I didn't get, like, we sort of, it really did, I don't think it's just because I watched it in two pieces. It really did kind of feel like two different movies. And, like, the stuff at the beginning about, like, you know, him, like, sleeping with the girl and the main character girl and, like, just him. I really liked Goo as a character. I thought he was cool. But the second half is much more, it's much more focused on action scenes and fighting, but it also is definitely making a point about Buddhism that unfortunately I am not cultured enough to get, and I think that probably if I got it, I would like the movie more, and I felt bad. I looked online for a lot of explanations and didn't find much, which was sad.
Yeah, something that's interesting on just an action level, I also thought about James Bond a little bit in this, because...
Really?
Something that's not talked about enough in James Bond films is that James Bond films have usually a really great second bad guy. Mm-hmm. And those are the best action scenes.
Yeah.
So you kind of wait all film for, like, this secondary character to get the chance. And this film kind of did that well, because you got so many people who are very good fighters, and some people who are just, strategizing in the back. Near the end, when basically, you have two characters who have been labeled as the best fighters in the whole, region. Mm-hmm. They're not the leads, but you kind of now want them to fight so badly. And for a movie that's maybe has an hour and a half of just minutes of fighting, I got giddy at the end. I'm like, oh, here we go. Here's some... It's able to do that, whereas able to have so much fighting with the same kind of elements, and yet still excite you for what new was approaching. Even when you think the film is winding down, you're excited about the last threat.
In this film that is sort of trying to talk about Buddhism and how fighting is actually not good.
Right.
We love the fights.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, and that like anti-violence part, I definitely I felt bad that I didn't have the context for it, because I think that it's probably pretty cool, but it was hard for me. And I mean that's just a difficulty in watching movies cross-culturally, and it's not a reason not to do it, but I just always feel like with martial arts-based movies in general, and Chinese cinema in general, there's some cultural touchstones I'm clearly missing, and it means I don't enjoy it as much, which is more of a commentary on me than it is on the movie, but it makes it harder for me to judge them.
Lee, what do you think about this genre and how this film worked in it?
I really enjoy this genre. I really like Stephen Chow's take on this genre. He's done a couple that kind of lean towards this, especially with like Kung Fu Hustle. Towards the end, it gets super fantastical, and there are really crazy fight scenes that don't really make sense, but they're really pretty to watch. So, and especially Kung Fu Hustle, it has this whole other thing tying Buddhism to not fighting and blah, 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 and I didn't understand it either, but it was really pretty to watch. So that was something that I was really kind of thinking about when I watched this movie. It's really pretty, it's fun, it's definitely has fantasy aspects to it. I kind of wish it was shorter, because it is long, and while I do enjoy the fight scenes, I thought they kind of dragged on a bit. Some of them were just like, okay, we get it, they're fighting, they're done, okay, can we please stop fighting now, please? And I think that might have been the point. Maybe, deep down. Maybe.
Maybe? Possibly. I could see that.
I kind of took that, too, a little bit, because I was expecting more Crouching Tiger style, where these people are basically superhuman. Like, these guys are, too, but they can basically jump good. And they're
Boing,
yep,
boing,
exactly.
boing.
And their fight scenes seem more like what I imagine an actual fight would look like, not thousands of moves within a second, tiny little, I don't know, whatever, the sword is dancing on its own. craziness. It was more realistic to a point. And I was like, when's the crazy shit gonna happen? I'm like, oh, this is it. Okay. That's not bad. It wasn't what I was expecting. But that doesn't make it worse.
But it's a much more subdued story. I don't think... I mean, I'm not super familiar with the director, King Hu's oeuvre, but I don't think he's ever gone into Stephen Chow territory. I think he's much more of a... I mean, he's very still. He's closer to different countries, but Akira Kurosawa than Stephen Chow. At least the way I see him approaching these kind of long, epic stories and getting to the quieter emotion of it, I suppose. Well, I guess real fast. Lee, have you seen Stephen Chow's new movie, The Mermaid?
I haven't. I've been told I need to see it, though.
It's great. It's a lot of fun.
I was a little disappointed with CJ7, but I really liked his... the one that was basically very similar to this... Well, not very similar, but similar to this movie, where it's a really kind of crazy fantasy and lots of weird fighting that he directed.
Journey to the West?
That one, yeah.
Yep, that was fun, too.
That was a lot of fun.
Stephen Chow, he's awesome. Anyway.
Pretty great.
Oh, a different guy. Okay.
What are you trying to say?
No, there was one detail which I just cemented. Actor Roy Chow, who played the best guy in the film, which was the monk, the abbot.
Oh, yeah.
He was so great.
He was Lao Che. In Temple of Doom.
Yep.
I don't even know who that is in Temple of Doom.
The guy, the Chinese guy that poisoned him.
Oh, at the beginning?
Yeah. I didn't know you could speak my language, Dr. Jones. That guy. No?
I don't.
I knew I recognized it.
Because it's bad.
Because it's good. But I couldn't tell what from, and this was it, and that made me really happy. But also, Jackie Chan is in this film. Uncredited extra.
Is he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He did a lot of extras and action scenes before he made it big.
Pedro, real fast. What's better, Touch of Zen or Temple of Doom?
Fuck me. Temple of Doom.
Okay. And Adam, what do you think about all this? Not what he just said. For that.
Well, this is probably a better film, but Temple of Doom is better.
What?
As something that I watch and enjoy.
Okay. Burn the transcript.
It felt like I didn't really have a problem with the length because it kind of felt like reading a book, I guess. And what else? I liked the monk. I liked that he was like the most accurate, or not, well, I guess the most full, complete picture of what Zen is, I guess, because a lot of times he would defeat his enemies just by them looking at him in the sunlight. Yeah, it was really interesting. There's a lot to unpack with this movie that I haven't yet.
You know what I thought was something that, just from an action standpoint, that I really enjoyed was when they were doing the sneak attack at night. Kind of all those guards were going to come over and they just went crazy. I was thinking, like, typically action scenes in the dark suck. Because it just means they're like hiding their budget and they're just hiding the shadows as a filmmaking technique. But this worked so well, and also because they're going to do so many more action scenes in broad daylight and like a wide field, it was kind of cool to have this almost covert action scene. Like, it possibly was too long because they really did they got them all. But yeah, really, I enjoyed that as an option early on.
I did not watch this in total darkness, so a lot of the really dark scenes I couldn't actually see very well.
Oh.
Like, I actually was watching this, and my roommate came home, and he looked at me, he was like, "Did you start your movie yet that you needed to watch?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's right there." And he was like, "Oh, I didn't even notice. This TV was so dark."
Yep.
That's funny.
The things you hallucinate or working on a rocket.
Right.
Anyway, I think that's kind of wraps it up. I dug this film. I give this, because we do hinge ratings, because we're old, I give this a 4.2.
I'll say 3.8.
I give it a 3.
I was gonna give it a 3.8.
You can.
I am.
You still can.
Pedro bashes it the entire time, gives it the same review as the guy who says only positive things.
Right.
It was fine. It just wasn't wonderful.
And Lee?
3.8.
Yeah, I wanted it to be a little bit funnier, but otherwise it was still really fun. I'll give it a 3.75.
All right.
Do you know the title doesn't have Zen in it?
Yeah.
The literal translation is Hero Woman.
Which is so much better!
That is a way better title.
That's a good title. Just really fast though. Pedro, how many hinges do you give Temple of Doom?
Oh, like 4.99. Probably 5, actually. I give it 5.
Austin, you know that we're going to review it later.
No, we're
He's
not.
already done a bonus review mini hinge.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've got a couple more of those.
Oh, gosh.
Man, he's gonna make us watch Crystal Skull.
Well, yeah.
Oh, no.
It's not fair that Star Wars gets to be the entire series in one book entry and Indiana Jones just picks a movie.
Yes, it is. Because...
Also, it's not. It's just the first...
Oh my God,
unless
I
it's a
hate
New Hope.
everything.
So it's
No,
just
there's
the
a couple
first 3.
Star Wars movies.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was.
Oh,
I thought
there's
it was all the Star Wars.
There's a New Hope and Empire are separate entries.
Okay.
Angry about it.
I don't know. I thought
That's
something different.
That's fine for a list.
That's all right.
How many Indiana Jones films should be on the list?
All of them.
Okay. Now it's time for the album section.
Oh, boy.
Lee, what did we hear this week?
This week we listened to Mask by Bauhaus. This is their second studio album. They are a British band because, you know, most of the bands on our list are British bands. And it came out in 1981. And it's a little different than some of what we've heard before.
It's a little different mid-song sometimes.
Yeah. This is one of the few bands on the album list that I've actually seen live, which is exciting. They opened for Nine Inch Nails in 2006. And that's when I saw them. I had no idea who they were at the time, and I was talking to someone, and they're like, ooh, Bauhaus, they're still around? They're still alive? They're still doing things? So, it was, and they were, from what I can remember of the concert, they were entertaining and fun to watch, so.
Did you remember any of these songs?
No, I did not. Like, there were a couple that I felt like I had heard before, but it was just vague enough that I couldn't be for sure.
So, try to describe their style.
Wikipedia has them as gothic rock, which is something that I kind of agree with. Their topics, their themes are a little bit darker than normal. They have a little bit of a darker sound, if that makes any sense at all. Just all around dark people.
I saw a lot of kind of punk from that darkness sometimes.
Yeah, they're Wikipedia also has them as post-punk, which I kind of agree with.
What does that mean?
Post-punk, I think it just came out after the 70s.
Just after punk.
Yeah, after the punk movement of the 70s. So, yeah, it makes sense. I felt a little bit of a punk influence, and you can kind of see where they may have influenced some Britpop later on, because we've listened to tons of that. So, like, The Cure, maybe they could have influenced them a little bit, or, like, cohabitated, or, like, they were contemporaries, so they kind of influenced each other. So there were a couple times where I felt like it was The Cure, and then I can't remember the song, and I wish I would have written it down when I was listening to it. I felt like it was just, I wish David Bowie had did this song instead, because I think it would have been more fun.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I mean, that's the answer for every song.
Yeah, I mean, everything would be better if David Bowie did it.
I think it was The Passion of Lovers. Like, I watched the music video and I was like, man, that would have been so cool if David Bowie did that.
Well, they had one song, I think it was The Man with the X-Ray Eyes, that honestly, it sounded like it was a Pink Floyd song starting, and then it became like purposely ugly by mid-song.
Yeah, they are not afraid to play with sound and make things sound kind of ugly and not be kind of pretty, which I appreciate. It was polished, and produced well, but it wasn't pop polished, which I'm okay with.
It threw me off a little bit because I guess this is no surprise, but I like the pop elements more than the punk elements because I hate punk. I don't hate punk, but I'm hysterically not punk, I suppose.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, you are not punk.
No.
I have 2 podcasts. These connect.
Oh no.
Austin, the song is punk.
I don't spoil the show.
Okay. I told him at the beginning.
We're good.
Okay.
Anyone else hear the album?
I really enjoyed it. As longtime listeners will know, I usually listen to the album multiple times, and sometimes it's a trudge to listen to it more than once. This album, I actually turned it off thinking I need to turn this off, so otherwise I'm going to get burned out. But I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was fun to listen to from start to end, and it was enjoyable, and it kept me interested without being monotonous or without being too chaotic. And I don't know, I really dug it. It was great.
And I thought it was all right. We switched roles here.
Yeah.
All right, I think it's time for henges then. What would you give it?
I'll give it a 4.
I'll give it a 3.4. And that is Mask by, what is the band's name again?
Bauhaus.
Bauhaus.
I wish, like, I had the same voice, or, like, my voice was as deep as the lead singer, because, like, the only thing I really, really remember of the Bauhaus performance at the concert was, like, them just walking on stage and he just says, "Hello, we are Bauhaus." And the way he said it was, like, so deep and, like, scary and demonic, and I loved it, and I wish I could do that.
That's the power of post-production. All right, now it is time for the food segment. Sarah, what are we eating this week?
So we're not, because it's dried abalone, and abalone is a mollusk that I feel like we don't eat very much in the West. It's relatively common, but is considered a delicacy in East Asia. And apparently you're supposed to eat it, like, it's like a big delicacy in China, is to eat it dried specifically. But I was unable to find a way to get it here. There were lots of canned abalone options. There were lots of cooked abalone options. There were no dried abalone options. So I apologize and have failed. And now we'll never die. That's me.
I mean, it's no change from right now, so.
We got 19 years to find something, I guess.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, now it's time for the song segment.
Yeah.
Pedro, what do you hear this week? And also, what genre is it?
It's punk. We heard Alternative Ulster by Stiff Little Fingers. Alternative Ulster is a song by Stiff Little Fingers. It is, I swear. Came out with the album Inflammable Materials in 1979. Alternative Ulster is a band from Belfast in Northern Ireland. And there was kind of some stuff going on when this song came out.
Yeah.
In that region.
Potato famine?
Yeah, that one.
No.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Ulster is, I think they call it a province. It's a region of the northern region of the island of Ireland,
Right.
where the border between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland actually goes through. So it's an old school region that really has no purpose anymore politically because it just. Isn't Ulster aligned with Britain, or am I messing that up? No, like Northern Ireland is the part that is part of UK. The Republic of Ireland is its own sovereign entity, and where the two meet is encompassed in Ulster. So some people live in Great Britain. I think I'm getting all the terminology correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then other parts of Ulster belong to the Republic of Ireland. Anywho, this song is about that.
How so?
And what they called the Troubles. Basically, if you read the lyrics, which there aren't that many of, it's basically them saying we don't need to live in terror and persecution and all this. We've got bad people on one side, bad people on the other. Let's just sort of take our home back. We don't need to leave home. We just need an alternative home. In this case, being Ulster. That's what I gathered.
Okay.
Yep. The song is actually a lot of fun.
I agree.
It's very bouncy. I love how it opens. I love how it opens up with like a crisp guitarness. That's something that I need. The singers actually sing melodically as opposed to just yell, which I need. If I'm gonna like a song, it's most of the time it needs to be sung. If it's of the more grungier punk type sounds. But this did fine.
It's definitely different from most of the punk that we've listened to, where they just kind of scream and unmelodically shout things over grungy, nasty sounding guitars.
It is.
It's like folk punk.
It actually, what it reminded me of is the pop punk that I was really into.
Folk pop punk.
In like the early 2000s, which I don't claim was any good, but that I really liked. This struck me as that. It's got that bounciness to it, which means that I really liked it.
Folk punk.
You're not helping.
Just keep adding.
But I was but I was pleasantly surprised by this. It was way catchier than I expected, and thought that I was sort of interested in learning. I don't know very much about the lyrical stuff, but I think it's interesting, and yeah.
Yes.
I wasn't as charmed by this one.
That's because you have bad taste.
It's mostly because I have bad taste. That's always the first layer of defense. Mm-hmm. But it was poppier than most, but it was like... I was always on the precipice of liking it. I listened to it a few times. I saw it. I looked into its soul. We parted ways. There's my review.
That, I think you should say nothing more.
It's been a long week. so many fumes in this place.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
And what do you think?
I have mixed reviews about this song because, on the one hand, I didn't listen to it.
Uh-huh.
And on the other hand...
Oh, no!
What everyone's saying sounds right.
What everyone is saying?
Everyone. Everyone is right.
Sweet.
I guess that clears that up.
Yeah. Anyway, the children's book.
I was about to call you out for using the phrase mixed reviews for your own opinion. I'm like, no, it's one review. But it turns out you're right.
Yeah.
You had mixed reviews.
Mixed reviews.
That's all you have.
Oh, boy.
Pedro, do you hear any more about this band?
I actually haven't, but I know people who have heard of them. Which is more than I can say of a lot of these albums.
I know people who have heard of them.
That's fair.
But
I'm really interested in listening to more of them. I have not heard of them before, but I'm looking at the album that this was on, their Wikipedia page right now, and there's a song with Bob Marley. I'm so excited.
Oh shit, really?
Okay,
yeah,
I'll hear that one.
That sounds cool.
Why isn't that on the list?
I don't know.
Maybe it's not very good.
Stop glaring at me. I didn't write these cosmic lists.
Fine.
Why isn't the Raiders theme on this list?
Because it's songs, not movie soundtracks. That book is still coming out.
I think we should hinge this thing.
Shut down.
I don't know if it was.
I think this song deserves 4 henges.
I think Pedro goes first.
Not anymore, I don't. Yeah, 4 henges.
I don't know, 2.8.
I'll give it the average of all of these scores.
Okay.
No, he doesn't. Don't write that down. Lee?
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
Me too.
No, he doesn't. Alright, that is Alternative Ulster by Stiff Little Fingers.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Now it's time for the children's book section. Where did we go this time, Adam?
We went to a place called Moominland. And the book is actually called Comet in Moominland. Moominland. Comet in Moominland.
Oh boy.
And it's by Tove Jansson. And it was originally published in 1949, published in English in 1956 from the language of the Finns. Finlandish. Finnish.
That's right.
Finish is the... Yeah,
It's
okay.
Finlandish.
It's confusing. So Comet in Moominland is... I guess I should start with what Moomins are, which are little hippos.
Oh, that sounds
They're
cute.
they're so cute. They're so chubby.
Yeah, they
Oh, I want them to be my best friends.
Yeah, they're essentially little hippos.
There are a lot of
And,
pictures in that book, honey.
The main character is Moomin Troll, and his family gets a visitor, a philosopher.
No, wait, it entertained Sarah. What are Moomin Troll's parents' name?
Moomin Mama
Aww.
and Moomin Papa.
Aww.
That's so cute.
Yeah. And his best friend is named Snork,
Yeah.
but Snork is kind of an asshole. I don't think I would be his best friend.
He's such like the cowardly sidekick.
Yeah, for sure. He's kind of the piglet to Winnie the Pooh.
Absolutely.
You don't think he would be your best friend?
No. I meant what I said. I don't
Okay.
think he would like me.
Oh.
Okay.
Because you like his sister. Which is
happening?
a subplot in this book.
Yeah, it is. So anyway, the story is about this comet, which is, it starts with a badger? I forget what it is. A philosopher badger thing that comes and says that a comet is coming. And so the first half of the book is them trying to figure out if the comet is coming and having different misadventures and meeting a wanderer along the way. And then they find out that the comet is coming, and it's what they do to prepare for the comet heading towards Moominland.
So, I mean, the story actually is super charming and cute, and these silly fat hippos.
Yeah.
I think you have to recognize that Adam's being very literal in that the plot is about a comet that could destroy the planet coming towards Moominland.
Well, no.
Like, it actually is this very charming, wonderful adventure story about trying to stop the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Like, and it's kind of great because it's unlike perhaps, Pooh and Piglet trying to find their lost can of honey. This is that kind of tone with higher stakes than not getting A on your homework.
Right. It's essentially Winnie the Pooh, but the world is going to end at the end of the book.
Yeah.
That's honestly what I really like about it, because these creatures are continuing they're not getting sad about it, they're not depressed about it. It's just something that's happening, and they have to prepare for it, and they have to enjoy life while it's happening. But that's never said. That's just
it's really implied.
It's very much implied.
It's a really
The world's gonna just end.
Yeah,
but they all say that's gonna happen, basically.
Not really, actually. Because every time they mention,
gonna destroy everything.
Well, yeah, it was always destroy the land, or there won't be a home. It was never like you will die,
or you will not have a stamp collection anymore.
Right,
because
your stamp collection will disappear.
Yeah.
They say that to a particularly stubborn character who doesn't want to move. He just cares about his stamp collection and doesn't leave the cave or whatever.
There's an awesome part where they have to kind of travel over this land, and it's an emptied ocean. And it's such a cool setting because one of the characters is just really upset about this. And just kind of keeps looking at, like, basically a lost civilization. And it's like, this used to be, like, something so much more. It's in this cartoon, basically, of these fat hippos.
Yeah.
The book was really rich because all these characters, I mean, they're all quite a bit silly, but they all have different perspectives. And some things upset them more than others. And that was refreshing. Like, this is an adventure book you could be read to and actually, like, want to know what happens tomorrow.
Right.
Because the comet appears in the last 10 pages. Like, it's...
Does it destroy
really
Moominland?
You'll have to read the book to find out.
Or one of the 8 sequels.
Oh,
Yeah,
I guess not then.
There's a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, and it's still a thing, because I just saw in the trades this week that they're now working on another animated film, and Alicia Vikander is going to be one of the major voices. Like, this is still a vibrant franchise, even though I think the author passed away maybe 10, 15 years ago?
2001.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a really beloved Finnish series, and even though it's not my favorite in the world, I'm glad it didn't suck.
Yeah. And if you look up Tove Jansson, she has some really she's really interesting. She started with political cartoons. She kind of got notoriety for doing one where she drew Adolf Hitler crying and other European leaders trying to feed him cake to satisfy him.
That's crazy.
I know.
They should give him 2 scoops of ice cream.
Yeah. I know. What?
It's a Trump joke.
Let's play later.
Trump joke.
Got it. Gross. So yeah, read the book and look up about her. I like the book a lot.
Yeah.
It's very easy reading, but
Well, it kind of keeps
there's
moving.
kind of that existential dread the whole time.
And even when they don't, like, immediately succeed in, like, minor goals, it still works. Like, it never feels like it's stalling the plot or anything.
Right.
I guess my only complaint is that I just didn't find it particularly funny. Which is a factor for these kind of books. Like, this is something that I think... I can know a lot of people will find this book to be funny. But, like, the sequence when the girl that he likes, like, them dealing with, like, jewelry and badges and whatnot. That was, like, the one part I didn't like that much. It's supposed to just be funny.
Yeah.
And it just didn't really work.
It's like funny in the driest way.
Yes.
Yeah. A lot of... If you like really, really dry humor,
Right.
this is for you.
One part I did find funny. There's one character I liked, which was the scientist guy who has the giant telescope. He's just looking at stuff, and I just love this one moment that they want to like make sure this comet is coming, so they find the comet in the sky, and they go, "It just looks like a rock. There should be like a tail behind it." He's like, "No, it's coming towards us. The tail is behind it."
Yeah, that's why you can't see
That really entertained me. I'm like, what's the big deal? It's coming right for us.
That irritated you?
No, I love that it irritated him. Like,
oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's a dumb question. And they're like, he goes like, I really can't wait to like take notes about when he gets here. And they're like, well, what are we gonna do when he gets here? Like, what? Don't have to worry about that until that happens.
Yeah.
I dug it. Yeah, I really wouldn't be opposed to reading another one of these, and maybe I'll check out one of those films. It's really a fun franchise because there's not a lot like animal jokes. It's just what they are. You know, these overweight hippos, weird little creatures. And it's just cute cartoons for.
Now, are they overweight hippos? I feel like looking at the pictures, they actually look like fairly slim hippos because hippos are pretty big, right? Yeah. I'm just asking the real questions that everybody cares about.
I was thinking that too.
Not my segment, Adam. Are these? Am I body shaming these hippos?
Yeah, you are. It's clearly what happens.
They're normal-sized hippos.
And I actually apologize because maybe they actually are skinnier than the average hippo because they are standing on their hind legs the whole story.
And they do a lot of exercise.
Yeah. There's a lot of traveling in this book. Mm-hmm. I dug it. Adam, how many hinges do you give it?
4.1.
And I'll give it 4 hinges. That is Comet in Moominland by
Tove Jansen. Probably not.
I'm so ignorant. Is it Tove or Tove?
I was gonna say I thought maybe Tove Jansen.
Oh.
But I don't know how to Finnish.
Finnish is a weird language, and it's only related to like one other language, so I think we're
like
gonna be
halfway
safe.
Across the world from it. Isn't it like Turkish? Yeah, it's bizarre.
Or Hungarian or something goofy.
Lee's recorded for those at the library, so she didn't see Adam desperate for anyone to smile at his joke.
It wasn't that great. Sorry, Adam.
We just wanted to see how long he'd go.
I don't care.
They can drive real good, though. The Finns.
Indeed.
What?
I think they steer.
Well, they do.
Finns.
Yeah, they're usually
Finns.
the driver, not the co-pilot.
That's a really bad joke, Adam, and I love really bad jokes.
It was. It's a thing that happened.
Ooh, that was bad.
It's a thing that happened to all of us. We were all here.
That's it. We're starting the podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Before we do that, let's do the TV show segment.
Oh my god.
Which is a good transition because aren't any good jokes in this one either. This is All American Girl. All American Girl is a sitcom that aired on ABC from 1994 to 1995. It lasted a whole 19 episodes. It is technically based off Margaret Cho's stand-up comedy. And it's
I would not use the word technically. I would use the word ostensibly based off Margaret Cho's stand-up.
legally based, according to the...
Marketed as being based.
Okay, so I saw every episode of this series. I even watched the bonus features on the DVD about the series. I've reviewed a lot of really bad shows for this podcast, and this is definitely one of them. But it also should be on the list. Because A, there aren't 1,001 good shows. We know this.
True.
And B, it's important in TV history because it was a bad show.
That's true.
It is about, or supposed to be about, this Korean immigrant family living in San Francisco, and Margaret is supposed to be a variation of herself, where she's just a very westernized daughter, and their family is more traditional. But it's really, really terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible for a number of reasons, mostly because it made nobody happy on this show. Like, even when this aired, so many Korean Americans were speaking out against this because most of the cast is Chinese.
What?
Yeah, no, and it's kind of obvious. Like, there's a lot of, very awkward, added in Korean phrases that are not well delivered at all because...
And apparently wrong.
Yeah, I mean...
A lot of the slang was wrong, and also the breakout comedy character, I don't blame the actress, Amy Hill, again, Chinese woman playing the grandmother, is using the most cartoonish Asian accent, which is not even close to her real accent at all in real life. It's like Charlie Chan level.
It's really awkward.
Accent.
It's really awkward.
And also the show's terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a really bad sitcom that's also pretty sexist, which is kind of crazy
It's
at times.
pretty everything bad. I saw 3 episodes, and
It's like... Well, first of all, Margaret's character is so horribly stupid that you almost can't believe she can breathe on her own.
Yep.
But, when they try to do, these... Cause it's a TGIF show. I mean, it's very much in the vein of Boy Meets World, of, silly ensemble, sort of a lesson, continue the story. But their lessons are bad.
Yeah.
When she got a promotion at work... It kind of ended with, you're not a good boss? And, implying that, not all women can be good bosses? Ooh. And when she tried to get her own, apartment, she recognized that, she just failed, and all that she could do is live back with her family, and that was seen as, success on the show. The show's really,
rough.
It is not a feminist show to be.
And I think the thing is, it kind of like it thinks it is. The horrible thing is that it thinks it's progressive, and it thinks that it's a little bit like when John McCain chose Sarah Palin as his running mate. It thinks that by tokenly placing an Asian family with no actual thought as to like what it means to do true representation in an American style sitcom, that it'll just all work out and everyone will love it. And it's so clear from the show that they are self-satisfied at the beginning, and then it starts like schizophrenically jumping around, I think.
I'll get to the desperation of the second half of the season in a second, but like the show is very bizarrely like not about race.
Yeah.
In fact, the most it's about race is an episode where the grandmother is really into feng shui, which she admits at the beginning is more of a Chinese thing. But also the way she uses it is like borderline like mysticism.
Yeah.
Of doing voodoo and
they really, it's like every offensive Asian stereotype. Like the older brother is like there's like, or one of the brothers, I don't remember.
There's
like
only one. Well, yeah.
Oh,
Jesus Christ! I forgot that there's a younger brother.
There is, yeah. The older brother is like the square.
But he is the only actor who makes any of this work that's B.D. Wong.
And B.D. Wong is great, like as a actor and a person, and I love him.
But his material is terrible. But he actually,
he wants it to be okay.
So, all that's terrible. Then the show kind of gets crazy with pop culture in the back half, where it does like a real world parody that's horrible. Like, I've seen hundreds of episodes of The Real World because of this podcast. Sure, it's because of this podcast.
Sure, definitely why.
It didn't get the aesthetic right. Like, it didn't get anything right but that. The craziest episode is the one where Quentin Tarantino acts on it. Because, well, he's a drug buddy of Margaret Cho in real life. So he agreed to do a ABC sitcom that is a wall-to-wall parody of Pulp Fiction, maybe 5 months after it came out. So,
strange.
And it's not just like the obvious things of Pulp Fiction. It is so many things of Pulp Fiction to the point where he does a parody of Christopher Walken's monologue with a Walken voice. It is embarrassing that, like, I mean, ultimately doing a favor for a friend, but I would feel awkward on set if every line of this sitcom is about my movie. But also, Tarantino's a narcissist, so actually I'm sure it's fine.
Like, Margaret Cho has basically disowned this series, right?
Right, and so, yeah, one more really weird thing the show did. So the show knew it was on the verge of cancellation. So the last episode of the series is essentially a brand new sitcom with no warning. It is as if it just became Boy Meets World, where she is living with 3 other guys sharing an apartment, like New Girl style, and they all have a wacky subplot where they have to, pay their rent late, and the main white guy is trying to, get a date with Marisha Hargitay, who's the hot bartender. She became the subplot. She became the secondary character of her own show, and like all the cast is gone except for the grandmother. It was the weirdest, desperate thing I've ever seen. And also, that show's bad. But at least it was like closer to good. But it was because also like she was an actual character, but who got no funny lines. So they gave it to the 3 white guys who,
of course,
who lived in the apartment with her.
Well, women aren't funny, Austin. So,
duh.
So, yeah, Margaret Cho has basically denounced and mocked this show as her career. But the reason I do believe it should be on the list is because, like, it's fucked up. It took this long to have an Asian American on TV, and it was fucked up. They fucked it up so bad. It's fucked up that it took 20 years for them to do it again with Fresh Off the Boat,
which is way better. And there's a scene in Fresh Off the Boat where they watch this show.
Yes, and become like. It's an episode of Fresh Off the Boat about representation, and they watch All American Girl to go like, this is the last time like we were on TV. Oh, okay, and that show takes place in the 90s, so it wasn't like a time thing, but more of like, that's crazy. That's
Right.
That's all we have. But, so yeah, it is a show that I was so desperate to like want it to succeed every episode. And this stuff matters. There should be more. It's crazy. I learned nothing about Korean culture after watching a full season show about a Korean family.
Well, and also that like, even if the show wasn't thinking that it was its job to teach you about Korean culture, it also isn't funny or insightful or watchable or inventive or...
Yeah, you watch art for a certain perspective, for someone's perspective that's not your own. And this was an Asian American family kind of run by white network TV.
Yeah, it's really awful.
So, like, I kind of like that this show is remembered as, like, a failure because it should be, like, a failure to learn from. So, it should be a black spot on the list for a good reason, unlike Gotham just sucking.
And I feel like you should read the think pieces about this show and not watch it.
No, watch one to understand it's not a hidden treasure.
That's, I guess. Or you could just read the think pieces where everyone says, this is not a hidden treasure, this was terrible.
Well, I knew about the show for years. I was like, I went in still going like, maybe it's secretly better than they all think. And it wasn't. And it did not get better. I don't know, 5 episodes are on YouTube. Including the Pulp Fiction one.
Oh my god. I didn't see that one. And that one, I mean, I might have to watch it just for the sheer weirdness of it.
If you're wondering if Tarantino's, since he's not a very good actor in his own, Oscar-winning scripts, how's he going to do on a network sitcom? Ha!
Poorly?
This is the second show we've seen now with Quentin Tarantino as a sub-character.
Wait, what was the first one?
Alias.
Oh, that's true. He's actually okay in that.
He's an Alias?
He's fine, Alias, actually.
Yeah.
Huh. I need to keep watching that.
No, you don't.
I'm gonna... do you want to henge this on?
Yeah. One. Alright, All-American Girl. 4 or 5 episodes on YouTube.
Yep.
Or you can get this box set from Shout Factory for really cheap. Cheap has...
But then you're paying them. Remember that.
Or... pay us for shipping.
If you want Austin's copy of All American Girl, just let us know.
You know what will go really great? A white guy signing this and sending it to you.
Why would you sign it?
They all want the same thing. Whatever. Oh yeah, Oprah's on an episode.
Of course she is.
Playing herself.
Sure.
She acts well. Episode 78.
Woo!
That was an interesting...
Who did it?
It actually felt like...
It was a lineup.
It was a structure.
Yeah,
to it, right?
it did.
Like,
It made sense. It was like we watched all the things and...
Yeah.
No, we began with Chinese cinema and accidentally ended with Chinese television.
True.
Korean, I thought you said.
Well, except
Accidentally.
not.
Most of the cast is Chinese. We had 2 weird things of punk going on. And we had Moominland.
Yeah.
Which was offensive to hippos.
It was.
Well, no, let's be clear.
I was
Austin was offensive to hippos.
And now, we kind of have murdered the guy who randomly gives us the number. So we've kind of been doing it ourselves.
It feels like
Why do
hollow.
you gotta remind me about that?
You know? Like, it feels like...
That you have blood on your hands?
Well, no, I don't care about that.
No,
blood on
I
my
got
hands.
tons
care
of blood on
about
my
the
hands.
intern's
No, I
blood
care that
on
you
my
haven't
hand.
showered since then.
Showering is important, Pedro.
I mean, I roll around in the grass,
That's
bathe in the alcohol
not
sweat.
the same as showering even a little bit.
Hey, he's building a rocket. Give him his methods. This is all going to work out
What's
fine.
happening?
It's fine. But, Pedro, what number inspires you today?
Oh, I don't know.
Really sell this.
Really okay. 3 is my favorite prime number.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's not actually. 2 is. So what's 2 times 3?
6.
What comes after 6?
7.
So 7, 6.
Nope.
No. That's stupid. Let's try 7, 3, 6.
Sold it.
I
Cool.
did.
Perfect.
All right.
Well, I already got my list up.
Alright, we find, we're doing 736, is that what you actually said?
I got mine too, yeah.
Yeah, it's on my phone.
Alright, one second, let me get this book.
The song is by Sonic Youth. It's a cool thing. I'm looking forward to it.
Alright.
The food's aceto balsamico tradizionale, which is fancy-ass balsamic vinegar.
Yeah.
The movie is Hannah and Her Sisters,
Cool.
which I'm actually really excited to rewatch.
I've never seen it.
Me neither.
I've never seen it either.
Alright. I think it's good to do our first Woody Allen film without Woody Allen in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Did we watch one with him in it?
This is our first.
This is our first Woody Allen film.
And
He is not in it.
But I think, he's just one of those great filmmakers, awful people
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
things. So it's good to not see his face as we go through
Yeah.
his art the first time.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But what
Or
else we
see
have
him
here?
be creepy with other people. The album is Siamese Dream by the Smashing Pumpkins, so we get to revisit the Smashing Pumpkins.
Yay.
Yeah.
The children's book is The Children of the New Forest by Frederick Marriott.
Frodrick.
Marriott.
Frodrick.
Marriott.
Frodrick.
Let's finish this.
Frodrick. And the TV show is Big Love.
Ooh, exciting.
I'm going to learn about Mormonism.
Oh.
Are you?
Yep. This is the definitive art.
Oh boy.
Mormonism.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure they're thrilled with that. Anywho,
Alright.
that's going to be a show for next week, and I'm looking forward to it. In the meantime, you can go to theartmore.com, leave a comment on this episode, let us know what you think of various kung fu films, let us know what you think of punk, post-punk, folk pop punk, Moominland, and, if you've seen All American Girl, odds are against it, but maybe you have.
You never
I
know.
want to hear your thoughts. And, yep, those are all things. Also, while you're there, you can check out Let's Take 5, the podcast where myself and Eric Martindale, we pick a cinema legend and highlight their excellence in range through 5 films. We are right now in the middle of our Jodie Foster 5. So we've already done Taxi Driver, and last week when we were off, we did The Accused, which, by the way, please listen to the episode of The Accused. It is a movie about a really difficult subject, and we really want to know when or if we got anything wrong. Because it's about a rape legal trial. So please, we want to have a...
And y'all are dudes.
Yeah, we had... Yeah, so we really want the conversation to go, so continue. But the reason we didn't have a guest episode is because we have a guest for tomorrow's episode. We have... here's a 24-hour exclusive. We have the award-winning mystery author Dana Cameron to join us for the Silence of the Lambs.
Cool.
So that is a really fun episode where we talk all about Clarice Starling. And also check out Dana Cameron's new movie. They are making a Hallmark movie based off one of her mystery novels this Monday, June 4th, right? Yes. So check that out. Sight Unseen.
What's it called?
Sight Unseen.
Oh, I thought you were telling
I
us
also
to watch it.
thought you
Sight
should
Unseen.
check it out. Sight Unseen, yeah.
S-I-T-E.
Oh.
Unseen. It's about... it's their first mystery series about archaeology.
Cool.
Ooh.
Yes.
So, like,
That's pretty cool.
no one's going to care about that in this group.
Yeah.
That movie sounds like it belongs in a museum.
Well, it does.
And also, we have some more podcasts. Ad Absurdum is back after a month off, where
Sorry, kids.
they are now going to take their brilliant minds that have gone through years and years of rigorous study in law school and practice in real life to analyze one of the greatest films in cinema history.
War Games!
Yeah, they're reviewing War Games, which, as for recording right now, Sarah hasn't seen yet, so she has no idea that it's dumb. Anyway, also, Sarah, you have another podcast that's not on this network.
Ha! That's true. You can listen to me pretend to be Misty from Pokemon on Adventure on the One Shot Podcast Network. If that is your jam, you will enjoy it.
2 episodes are out now, and they are very entertaining.
There's something.
The Immortals at artofmore.com, at The Immortals Pod on Twitter. Leave us an iTunes review. Anything you guys want to plug?
Meh.
No, I'm good.
No, y'all good?
Fins?
Fins are cool.
No. Mm-mm.
No.
Finland?
No,
No.
but fins for swimming through the ocean are good.
Well, I'm sure the Finnish people are also good people.
You know
Yeah,
what, you know what I
just
think
whatever
it is?
bad joke
Time to
Adam was
finish
going to make us bad.
this podcast.
He already
Wait, I
did
feel
a
like I
variation
heard
of
that
that.
one.
Don't care.
Oh boy. Editing all this out.
No,
You're
you're
gonna
not.
build a rocket.
I made 4 of these segments. Anyhow, I'm Austin.
I'm Adam.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Lee.
I'm Pedro.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, we are back.